Life is not merely a straight road from birth to death. It is a game filled with twists, turns, and trials that shape who you are and who you become. Every morning you wake up, you are given another chance to step onto the field. The whistle of life blows with the first breath of your day, and from that moment onward, every word you speak, every thought you entertain, and every step you take adds to the scoreboard of your existence. You are not here by accident. You are a player chosen by the Almighty to participate in this grand game, where every move you make has meaning and every decision has eternal consequences. In every game, there are rules that define the difference between success and failure. You cannot expect to win if you ignore the rulebook. The instructions for this game have already been revealed, clear, timeless, and perfect. These rules are not meant to limit you, but to guide you toward the best version of yourself. They teach you to stay honest even when deceit seems easier, to remain patient when the world pushes you toward frustration, to practice humility when arrogance tries to take control of your heart. The rules remind you that your journey is not about worldly rewards, but about spiritual fulfillment. When you live by these divine principles, you play with wisdom, strength, and peace in your heart. As you play, you'll notice that some people appear to be winning. They seem to have everything: wealth, recognition, ease, and influence. But don't let appearances deceive you. The scoreboard of this world is temporary, and true success is not found in material possessions or public applause. The real victory belongs to the one who remains steadfast in faith, who stays honest when no one is watching, and who trusts their Creator even in the darkest hours. The champion of life is not the one who has the most, but the one whose heart is at peace no matter what they face. Every game has obstacles. Some obstacles come in the form of people who doubt you, criticize you, or even try to block your path. Others are invisible: fear, insecurity, sadness, temptation. They exist within your own mind and heart. But just like any athlete, you are not meant to run from challenges. You are meant to train through them. Hardships are your workouts. They strengthen your faith, build your patience, and refine your soul. When life tests you, it's not trying to destroy you. It's trying to prepare you for the next level. Every setback is a lesson, every difficulty a stepping stone toward greatness. Sometimes you will fall, no matter how careful you are. You'll make mistakes, miss opportunities, and let yourself down, but in this game, falling doesn't mean you're out. It means you have a chance to rise again, stronger, wiser, and more determined. You only lose when you stop trying. So when you fall, don't stay there. Get up, dust yourself off, ask for forgiveness if you've erred, and move forward with renewed faith. The best players in life are not those who never fall, but those who learn how to rise after every fall. The ground may bruise you, but it also teaches you how to stand taller. You are not playing alone. Life is a team game. Your teammates are your family, your friends, and the people you meet along the way. Some will support you, cheer for you, and lift you up when you stumble. Others may misunderstand you, envy you, or even walk away when you need them most. But no matter what happens, keep playing your role with sincerity. Help others reach their goals, even when no one helps you. Protect your peace, your faith, and your values. Sometimes you will have to pass the ball, share your blessings, your time, or your kindness. Sometimes you will have to defend, stand firm against negativity and temptation. And sometimes you must take the shot. Seize the moment to make a difference when the opportunity arises. Never forget that above every player and every play, there is a coach watching, the one who created you, who knows your every strength and weakness, who never stops believing in your potential. He watches your effort, your patience, and your sincerity. When you make mistakes, he forgives. When you feel lost, he guides. When you succeed, he reminds you to be grateful. You don't have to understand every turn of the game because he does. Trust his plan even when it doesn't make sense. The game might feel unfair at times, but his wisdom is perfect. Time in this game is limited. The clock is ticking, though you don't know how much time remains. Some people are in the early stages of their journey, full of energy and hope. Others are nearing the final whistle, reflecting on how they've played. You may not control when the game ends, but you do control how you play right now. Don't sit on the sidelines comparing yourself to others or complaining about how hard it is. Step up and play your part. Every moment counts. Every act of kindness, every word of truth, every silent prayer adds to your final score. Faith, gratitude, and perseverance are your greatest tools in this game. Faith keeps you moving when you can't see the path ahead. Gratitude keeps you calm when things don't go your way. Perseverance keeps you standing when everything tries to pull you down. Use them wisely, and you will play with strength, peace, and confidence. Let your actions inspire others, let your patience shine, and let your smile be a reflection of hope for those who are losing theirs. You were chosen for this game for a reason. You have the potential to make a difference, to bring light, to leave a legacy of goodness behind. Life may not always be easy, but every moment is a move that can take you closer to eternal success. Play with heart, play with purpose, and play knowing that the final victory belongs to those who never stop striving with sincerity and faith. Following the divine rulebook of life is not a restriction. It is the very path that leads you to peace, clarity, and purpose. The rules revealed by your Creator are not chains that limit your freedom, but lights that guide you through darkness. They show you how to walk with dignity when the world pulls you toward arrogance, how to be kind when cruelty feels easier, and how to stay calm when chaos surrounds you. These divine principles remind you that your success is not measured by how much you gain, but by how sincerely you live. Every rule carries wisdom meant to elevate your character and purify your heart. When you choose to live by them, you are not just following commands, you are aligning yourself with truth itself. In this game of life, following the rulebook is like mastering the art of balance. You learn when to speak and when to stay silent, when to give and when to withhold, when to fight and when to forgive. It teaches you that not every battle deserves your energy, and not every victory is worth celebrating. The real triumph lies in mastering yourself, your ego, your anger, your desires. The divine laws are there to protect you from yourself, to help you remain steady in moments of temptation and calm in times of confusion. You begin to understand that the rules are not burdens. They are blessings that protect you from harm and lead you toward inner peace. Honesty, patience, and humility are not just virtues. They are the foundations of a strong and successful life. Honesty builds trust between you and your Creator, as well as with the people around you. It clears your conscience and brings a sense of freedom that deceit can never offer. Patience teaches you to wait for the right moment instead of rushing into regret. It trains your soul to endure pain without losing faith. And humility keeps your heart soft, reminding you that every blessing you enjoy comes from above, not from your own effort alone. When you live by these qualities, you walk through life with grace, and your presence becomes a source of comfort for others. At times, the rules may seem difficult to follow. You might see others taking shortcuts, bending principles, and still achieving what appears to be success. It can make you wonder whether honesty and righteousness are worth it, but remember, a win achieved through deceit is temporary. The sweetness of sin always turns bitter, while the pain of doing what's right eventually turns into peace. You may lose a few battles by sticking to the rules, but you will win the war that truly matters, the one within your soul. Stay loyal to the truth, even if it costs you comfort. What's earned with integrity lasts far longer than what's gained through dishonor. The rulebook teaches discipline, and discipline is what separates players who merely survive from those who truly succeed. When you follow divine guidance, you are not enslaved, you are liberated from confusion. You don't chase every trend, you don't crumble under pressure, and you don't lose yourself to the noise of the world. You begin to see things differently. You understand that true freedom is not doing whatever you want, but doing what's right even when you don't feel like it. Living by these rules gives your life direction and clarity that no worldly philosophy can replace. Faith in the rules allows you to see meaning in everything that happens to you. When life is smooth, you remain grateful. When life becomes painful, you stay patient. You realize that both ease and hardship are part of the same game. Both are opportunities to prove your sincerity. Following divine guidance shapes your perspective. It makes you thankful in prosperity and humble in adversity. You stop seeing rules as barriers and start viewing them as bridges that connect your actions to your purpose and your purpose to your Creator. These divine principles not only improve your relationship with God, but also transform the way you deal with people. You become fairer in your dealings, gentler in your words, and more forgiving in your reactions. You begin to treat others as you wish to be treated. You avoid envy because you know that what's written for you will come to you. You let go of grudges because you realize that forgiveness brings peace, not weakness. The rulebook of life trains you to become someone whose presence brings calm to others, not chaos. It molds you into a person whose character speaks louder than their words. In the heat of life's challenges, when emotions rise and patience fades, the rulebook reminds you to pause and reflect. It calls you to rise above your impulses and think before you act. It teaches you that silence can be stronger than anger, that mercy can be mightier than revenge, and that restraint can be more powerful than reaction. These rules are not meant to break your spirit, they are meant to build it. They create within you a resilience that cannot be shaken by insult, loss, or disappointment. They give you control over your inner world, even when the outer world falls apart. When you choose to follow the divine rulebook, you walk a path that may seem lonely at times, but it is never empty. You may lose friends who don't understand your principles, but you gain peace that no companionship can replace. You may miss out on fleeting pleasures, but you receive the kind of contentment that lasts. Every step you take in obedience brings you closer to real success, success that no one can take from you. The rules of life are not outdated or irrelevant. They are eternal truths that stand firm regardless of time, place, or circumstance. To live by these divine rules is to live with purpose. It means you are not moved by temporary emotions or influenced by fleeting trends. You know your direction and you walk it with confidence. You understand that these principles are not just commands to obey, but keys to unlock peace, strength, and joy. The rulebook of life is not here to confine you, it is here to define you, to remind you that true greatness is not about breaking rules, but about mastering the self that wants to. When you look around, you might see people who seem to have everything: wealth, beauty, influence, and success that shines for the world to see. It can make you question your own journey, wondering why life feels like a struggle while others seem to glide through it with ease. But what you must remember is that the scoreboard of this world is not the final result. The true measure of success is not how much you accumulate, but how faithfully you live. The real victory is not found in applause, luxury, or power. It is found in the quiet strength of your heart when you continue to do what's right, even when no one is watching. Many people chase temporary wins, building castles of success on shaky ground. They gain the world but lose their peace in the process. Their smiles are wide, but their hearts are restless. They may look ahead of you on the worldly scoreboard, but what truly matters, every game has obstacles, and life is no different. You will face moments that test your strength, your patience, and your faith. Sometimes those obstacles come from outside, people who misunderstand you, situations that seem unfair, or challenges that appear too heavy to bear. Other times, the obstacles rise from within, your own doubts, fears, and insecurities whispering that you are not enough. It is in those moments that the true nature of your spirit is revealed. You were not created to surrender at the first sign of difficulty. You were created to rise, to persevere, and to transform pain into power. Every hardship that meets you is not a punishment but a pathway toward growth. Obstacles are not there to stop you but to strengthen you. The path of ease never built a champion. The weight of struggle is what builds resilience, just as resistance shapes muscle. When life throws its challenges at you, remember that your Creator has already measured your strength. Nothing you face is beyond your capacity to overcome if you hold on to faith and determination. The storms you face are not random, they are lessons designed to teach you what comfort never could. They force you to dig deeper, to find courage you didn't know existed, and to depend on the one who never fails. There will be times when life's challenges will feel too heavy to carry. You will question the reason behind your struggles, and your heart will ache for relief. In those times, know that every tear you shed, every sigh you release, is seen by the one who created you. The delay in your ease is not a denial, it is preparation. The pain you feel today might be the very thing that strengthens you for tomorrow. You are being shaped through your trials, molded into someone capable of handling what you once thought impossible. Obstacles refine your soul, reminding you that true strength is born in the moments of weakness when you refuse to give up. When obstacles stand tall, they often disguise opportunities. What looks like a dead end might be a hidden door waiting to be opened through patience and prayer. Life does not always move in straight lines. Sometimes you must be redirected to reach where you truly belong. Every disappointment carries a hidden blessing, and every failure hides a message meant only for you. If you choose to focus on the lesson instead of the pain, you begin to see your challenges not as curses, but as blessings in disguise. They are reminders that your destiny is not built in comfort, but carved in hardship. The inner battles are often the hardest. Fear tells you to give up, doubt whispers that you can't, and negativity clouds your vision. But remember, every great player must learn to silence the noise within. You cannot win the outer game if your inner game is weak. Train your mind to focus on gratitude when worry tries to take over. Train your heart to trust when uncertainty clouds your path. The obstacles within, anxiety, jealousy, hopelessness, are defeated through faith, discipline, and remembrance of your purpose. When you conquer what's inside, nothing outside can defeat you. Sometimes your greatest obstacles are the people around you, those who discourage your dreams or judge your journey. They might question your intentions or belittle your efforts, but you must learn to play your game, not theirs. People will always have opinions, but they do not hold your destiny. Do not allow their negativity to distract you from your mission. Your journey is unique, and your path is meant to test you in ways others will never understand. Keep your focus on what truly matters and let your actions speak louder than your words. There will be times when you feel alone in your struggles, when no one seems to understand the pain you carry. Remember that solitude is not abandonment. Sometimes being alone is the only way to hear the guidance meant for you. It is in solitude that your soul reconnects with its purpose. It is in silence that clarity begins to bloom. The obstacle of loneliness often leads you back to your Creator, the one who is always near, even when everyone else disappears. When life becomes difficult and the road seems endless, remind yourself that every obstacle you face has an expiry date. No storm lasts forever, and no darkness can resist the light of faith. The key is not to escape the storm, but to learn how to walk through it with trust in your heart. Every challenge faced with patience becomes a badge of honor. Every tear shed in prayer becomes a step closer to relief. The pain of today will one day become the strength of tomorrow, and you will look back realizing that you were never truly defeated, you were only being refined. The game of life is designed to test your endurance. You cannot expect victory without resistance. Obstacles are the milestones that mark your progress. They are proof that you are moving forward. Each one you overcome takes you closer to your purpose. Embrace them with faith, face them with courage, and remember that every mountain climbed leaves you stronger than before. It is through these difficulties that your story gains meaning and your heart learns compassion for others who struggle. Every obstacle you conquer becomes a part of your legacy. Your story of endurance will inspire others who are still fighting their own battles. The moments that once broke you will become the very reasons others find hope. You are not defined by what blocks your path, but by how you choose to move through it. Obstacles are not the end of your story. They are the turning points where your true strength begins to shine. Sometimes in the game of life, no matter how prepared you are, you will fall. You will stumble, make mistakes, lose focus, and fail to meet your own expectations. It will hurt deeply because no one plans to fall, but falling is not the end, it is a part of the process. The most important thing is not that you fell, but what you do after the fall. Life will test your willingness to rise again, to rebuild yourself when everything feels broken. Every fall carries a message, a reminder that you are human, that growth requires humility, and that the journey to success is not a straight line but a series of rises and recoveries. When you fall, the world might not understand your pain. People might judge your mistakes or walk away when you need them the most. But those moments of isolation can become the greatest teachers. When everything around you seems dark, that is when your inner light begins to shine. You realize that the same pain that made you cry also awakens your strength. The fall teaches you who you truly are, what you value, and who truly stands beside you. Sometimes it is through falling that you discover your true worth, and that is something no success can teach. Falling also reminds you that you are not in control of everything. It humbles you before your Creator, teaching you that you are dependent on His mercy and guidance. You may plan everything perfectly, but life still finds ways to test your faith, and yet every setback becomes an invitation, an opportunity to return to the one who never abandons you. When you rise again with renewed faith, your fall becomes a turning point rather than a failure. It is through these moments that you learn the beauty of surrender and the strength of trust. When you fall, shame and regret often try to trap you. The mind replays every mistake, every wrong choice, every word you wish you could take back. But you must remember that dwelling in regret doesn't change the past, it only steals the future. The best way to heal from your fall is to learn from it and move forward. Every scar is a lesson, and every wound has wisdom hidden inside it. Forgive yourself for the times you didn't know better. Growth means understanding that failure doesn't define you, your response to it does. The courage to rise again after a fall is what separates those who grow from those who give up. Rising doesn't mean pretending the pain never existed. It means refusing to let that pain become your identity. It means acknowledging your weakness, but choosing not to live in it. Each time you get back up, you prove to yourself and to the world that your faith is stronger than your failure. The act of standing up again is a declaration that you are not done yet, that your story is still unfolding, and that no setback can erase your purpose. There will be moments when you fall repeatedly and it begins to feel hopeless. You might ask yourself why you keep struggling with the same mistakes or facing the same challenges. But repeated falls do not mean you are weak. They mean you are still trying. They mean you haven't given up. Life is not about perfection but persistence. Every attempt to rise is a victory in itself. Every effort you make to improve, no matter how small, counts as progress. Even when you don't see it, change is happening deep within you. When you fall, it's important to surround yourself with people who remind you of your worth, not your failures. Seek the company of those who lift you instead of those who push you down. But even if you find yourself alone, remember that solitude can be sacred. Use that time to reflect, to heal, to reconnect with your Creator. The quiet moments after a fall are often when the greatest realizations happen. In the silence, you will hear the voice of faith whispering that it's not over, that there is still more within you waiting to rise. Every time you stand up after a fall, you become a different version of yourself. You become wiser, more patient, and more compassionate. You begin to understand others' pain because you have felt it yourself. Your empathy deepens and your heart softens. The falls that once embarrassed you become the very experiences that make you kind, humble, and real. People who have never fallen may appear strong, but those who have fallen and risen are unshakable. They carry a strength built from the ashes of their own failures. Falling teaches you that progress is not always visible. Sometimes your victories are silent, getting out of bed when you want to give up, smiling when your heart is heavy, forgiving when you are hurt. These are victories too, even if no one sees them. Rising again doesn't always mean achieving something grand. Sometimes it means simply choosing hope over despair. The strength to rise quietly is one of the purest forms of courage. It is in those unseen moments that your spirit grows the most. Your falls do not erase your worth, and your failures do not cancel your potential. They are part of your story, shaping you into who you are meant to become. Each fall carries a purpose to teach, to humble, to strengthen, and to redirect you. The journey of life is not about never falling, it is about never staying down. Each time you rise again, you prove that the spirit within you is far greater than the challenge before you. The ground may catch you when you fall, but it is faith that helps you stand again. Your teammates in the game of life are the people who walk beside you, your family, your friends, your companions, and even those who briefly cross your path. Each one plays a role, whether it's to guide you, test you, or teach you something you wouldn't have learned alone. You were never meant to play this game in isolation. The beauty of life lies in the connections you make, in the moments you share, and in the lessons you learn from one another. Every person who enters your life contributes to your journey in some way, either by supporting you through your struggles or by challenging you to grow stronger. There will be times when your teammates will lift you, stand beside you, and remind you of your purpose when you begin to forget it. They will help you see your potential when doubt clouds your vision. These people are blessings, and their presence is a sign of divine mercy. They are the kind souls who pick you up when you fall, who defend you when others misunderstand you, and who push you toward goodness when you lose your way. Cherish them, for sincere companionship is rare, and a true friend who reminds you of your values is one of life's greatest treasures. But just as in every team, not all players share the same intention. Some may compete against you rather than with you. Some will envy your progress, while others might abandon you the moment things become difficult. This, too, is part of the game. You cannot expect loyalty from everyone you meet, but you can choose to remain sincere regardless of how others treat you. When people walk away, don't let bitterness grow in your heart. Understand that everyone plays their role, and sometimes distance is also a form of protection. Every disappointment teaches you to depend less on people and more on the one who never leaves. Life will often require you to play different roles. Sometimes you are the one passing the ball, giving others their moment to shine. Sometimes you are the one defending, protecting what you love and what you believe in. And at times you are the one who must take the shot, standing firm when no one else dares to move. These moments define your character. They show whether you play selfishly or with sincerity, whether you chase personal glory or collective growth. The best players are not the ones who want to be seen. They are the ones who quietly ensure the team keeps moving forward. Your interactions with others reflect the strength of your heart. When you help someone without expecting anything in return, you strengthen the bonds of compassion that keep humanity alive. When you forgive instead of retaliate, you demonstrate a kind of power that arrogance can never imitate. The way you treat your teammates, your family, your colleagues, your neighbors becomes part of your legacy. Every kind word, every act of generosity, every gesture of understanding contributes to the goodness you leave behind. People may forget your words, but they will never forget how you made them feel. There will be moments when your teammates disappoint you, when you feel betrayed or unappreciated. It hurts deeply because you gave your trust, your time, and your heart, but even in betrayal there is wisdom. It teaches you to give with sincerity, not with expectation. It reminds you that your good deeds are seen by your Creator, even if people fail to acknowledge them. The goal of your service should never be human recognition, because the truest reward comes from above. Keep being kind, keep being helpful, even when others don't return it, for every selfless act is recorded where it matters most. Being part of a team also means accepting that others are on their own journey too. Not everyone moves at your pace, not everyone understands your vision, and not everyone shares your level of faith. Patience with people is a form of wisdom. Just as you hope others will forgive your flaws, you must be willing to forgive theirs. The more you mature in this game of life, the more you realize that compassion is not weakness, it is a strength that very few possess. It takes great power to love without conditions, and to keep believing in goodness despite the pain caused by others. Sometimes you will find yourself playing alone, not because you have no one, but because this phase of your journey requires solitude. In those moments, don't mistake loneliness for abandonment. Solitude is when you grow, when your vision becomes clearer, and when your soul reconnects with its true purpose. You learn to stand on your own feet, to find strength from within rather than relying on constant validation. Being alone at times is not a punishment. It is a chance to rediscover yourself and to prepare for the next chapter of your journey. Good teammates are not always those who agree with you. Sometimes they are the ones who correct you when you go astray. They remind you to stay humble when success arrives and to stay hopeful when life becomes hard. True companions want to see you grow spiritually, emotionally, and morally. They are mirrors that reflect your flaws not to embarrass you, but to help you improve. It is through such people that you learn the meaning of accountability and sincerity. Treasure them and never let pride push them away. In the end, teamwork in life is about connection, contribution, and compassion. It's about realizing that while your journey is personal, you are part of something larger, a network of souls, each playing their part in a divine design. Every person you meet, whether they stay or leave, adds something to your story. You are shaped by the people you love, tested by the ones who hurt you, and strengthened by those who challenge you. Every encounter, pleasant or painful, becomes a step forward in your evolution as a human being striving to live with purpose and faith